right? And they make a public announcement about it, right? Town of Wallkill is like the only place, like, yep, we're gonna do it behind closed doors. We're not
It's
gonna tell
all
anybody about anything, like,
shrouded in mystery.
right.
Happy holidays. Welcome to the TOWTalk Podcast. Today is Sunday, December 21st, and my name's Denise, and I'm here with my buddy Neil, and we've got some things to go over today. Neil, you want to talk about some stuff going on here in the town of Wallkill regarding the Galleria. So why don't you explain to our audience what's happening?
So once again, it rears its ugly head. So as people may not remember it, right around the time that the last supervisor, who is going to be our new supervisor, Supervisor Dendanto, was in office, he mentioned the loss of a tax certiorari to the Galleria. Tax certiorari, for anybody who may not know, basically it's, at any point in time in any year, if you believe that the assessed value of your home or your property is higher, is higher than it should be, you can go and you can file what's called a tax certiorari. It's basically a court challenge or proceeding to reassess your home, hopefully downward.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
usually the way that works.
Lower
So
taxes.
right. So we have a Galleria here, right, with a lot of shopping establishments in it. It is owned by Pyramid, which is one of the larger, you know, companies out there. A lot of people might know one of their subsidiaries, which is Destiny USA. Destiny USA has had a lot of issues recently with related to debt. For anybody who doesn't know, like, it's a financial thing, right? So in other words, when you want to refinance, when you're a business and you want to take on additional risk, right, for a given property, you might put that piece of property in a new venture vehicle, a new business vehicle.
Okay.
Okay. And by doing that, you separate that from you can save if something happens with that business, okay, and that business goes bankrupt or they have issues paying off that debt, it doesn't impact the parent company.
Okay.
Okay. The bankruptcy will essentially stay with the subsidiary company. So they've had a lot of issues. They took on a lot of debt in some of these subsidiary companies. They've gone into they've been brought into bankruptcy on, I think, one of them. They've had to do some debt refinancings. The good news
Ugh.
about the Galleria Crystal Run is the fact that there is no debt. So it is actually under Pyramid. It is not under Destiny. So
Okay.
that is one of the good news of it. But it's not a big revenue generator for them. So they've been trying to find ways to, increase their revenue. One of the ways to do that, obviously, is to pay less taxes.
Yeah.
so so right around the time that Supervisor Dendanto took office, they came out of their pilot program, which was, an IDA pilot, right? We talk
Oh,
about those a
yes.
lot,
Yes, we
right?
have.
So we talk about, we talked about, you know, Orange County IDA was put under federal or a state monitor. We mentioned this state monitor as it related to the Wawayanda Amazon warehouse. Lot
Mm,
going on. So I know I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but I'm getting
that's
back
okay.
to the Galleria. I'm just trying to lay the foundation so people who've seen previous podcasts can piece this together as to kind of what's going on. So going back, when Supervisor Dendanto was leaving office, he actually mentioned that the town lost a tax certiorari to the Galleria. Interestingly enough, right, if you go back to that video, okay, because it was a public meeting, you go back to that video, the town assessor, the three board members who I've mentioned,
Many
previously
times.
many times, all denied that we lost that certiorari,
Why am I not surprised?
right? in the years that I was on the board, I never even voted, right? You have to actually vote as a board to that you're going to accept
Right.
the settlement, and we never did that. So, very interesting, because they were trying to hide it. Again,
Wow.
right? Like the same stupid shit. So, fast forward, there was a settlement, and Galleria at Crystal Run is going to be their assessed value is going down $90 million, from what I understand.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So, what does that mean? And that's for the last 3 years.
Wow. So wait a minute.
Right.
So it's going down for the last 3 years. Does that mean they're
Right.
getting a refund, or they're just not gonna
Yes.
pay taxes?
No, they're owed money. They're owed money. So
That
the
means we're gonna pay for it.
so Goshen School District owes I think some approximately around $3 million. The Middletown School District owes $1.3 million, from what I understand, and the Town of Wallkill owes $600,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't think they could do an offset against future taxes? They have to now
No,
we now have
so
to dig that up?
so yeah, it's so this is what really people have a hard time understanding. The town already taxed. The town is whole, right? But there are now issues because at that basically, if you go back 2 years ago, you take the tax base that you had 2 years ago, okay? And then you say, well, if their assessed value was $90 million less, how much would all of these other taxpayers have paid, okay, to get the town whole? That adjustment now gets done at the county level. The county will now do that reassessment, and basically all our property taxes will go up because now what has to do is everything has to sort of reset, right? There's this like kind of like big reset going on.
And didn't we have a recent conversation regarding, well, that had to do with the, Kathy Hochul's discount for seniors that would
Yes. Yeah,
increase, and that
it's same thing. That's the same thing though. You're
on a
100%
smaller
right.
level.
You're right on target. Okay? So if your town, basically taxes, I'm going to use small numbers, $1 million, right? Everybody kind of pays into the $1 million, but people are assessed at different values, so people pay different amounts
Yeah.
of that to get to that $1 million. Well, if somebody then comes and says, well, 3 years ago I was overcharged, right? Well, now all the other taxpayers who were there 3 years ago now have to make up whatever that amount is. Whatever they paid that they shouldn't have paid, everybody else kind of has to pay. And this happens all the time, right? It usually happens at smaller scales.
Yeah.
I want to say, right? Like, your property, which may be assessed at $50,000, right? If that assessment goes down to $40,000, that's not a big deal,
Right.
right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're not gonna be hit over the head, but
Right.
this
And
is
then
gonna be a lot.
so now this is what's so interesting. The reason why they were able to deny, okay, 3 years ago that there was a loss, this loss in taxable assessed value, right, was the fact that the town grew so much, okay, over the 2 years that Frank was in office, okay, that we actually more than made up for what we lost when that certiorari went through. So, it didn't actually impact the rest of the town. It just meant, whatever taxes went up, everybody paid a little bit more, right? Like, it didn't really impact anybody,
Okay.
okay? That's what happened. I don't know, I mean, $90 million is a lot, I mean, we've achieved a lot of growth. I will say that the warehouse moratorium probably really hurt the town. I know people don't wanna hear about warehouses, and that's fine, but I'm pretty sure that that hurt the town. It would be interesting if the town had an analysis of what that meant for its residents, right? Like,
Yeah.
first of all, again, I'm gonna go back to they still have not made a public statement about the loss of the bond rating, okay? That kind of really ticks me off. Like, you have a job, right? Like,
Y-
do your job, make the be hike up the big boy pants, okay?
At this
Right?
point, you're not gonna get it. It's not coming.
I know it's not coming, but it's like they refuse to admit anything, you know? It's like, don't say anything, ignore it, pretend it didn't happen. This nonsense, right? Like just like there should have been a statement, "Hey, we lost our bond rating. Um, this is the impact that it has. We're going to do everything we can. This is the time frame that we think we can get it done. This is how much it's going to cost," right? Like that that's accountability,
Yeah.
right? That's leadership. Okay? What we got now is neither
Yeah.
accountability nor leadership, because now they should say, "Hey, we lost this certiorari to the Galleria. It's going to cost us $90 million in taxable assessed value, and this is what it's going to mean for every resident," right? Like, there should be an analysis, there should be adults in the room, and they should own up to it. And again, no announcement, not doing anything, just a quick brief statement from, the third ward councilman at Thursday night's meeting. And I just I'm so sick and tired of this crap. I really am.
It's not surprising. And of course, third ward is Steve, so of course, at least he's coming forward and making an announcement. But you're not going to hear anything from them. And how long ago did this was this certiorari? Is this recent or is this
Yeah,
some?
this is recent, so
So
we
it's not
won't.
something that's been hanging around for a year and a half like the bond
Well,
rating.
no, the settlement, I believe, is fairly recent. What will likely happen is it won't impact us for this tax cycle,
Okay.
right? For this one, because the rates have already been set, the assessed value's already been set. So what you'll have is that it'll be the next cycle. So your 2026 taxes will not reflect, right, this change. It'll be your 2027 taxes that will reflect this change.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what the assessed value is now that the 90 million has been reduced? I'm
I
just
you know,
curious to see.
I really don't. I can throw out numbers,
Yeah, no,
and I'm
don't
just,
throw out. I would be
I'm
curious
just
to find that
I,
out.
I'm just not even sure even any, what it went down to.
I wonder if I could look that up on
Yeah,
the
if you go to real property, Orange County real property, you could probably find out, where it's at, and then, take off 90 million, and and you come up with your number,
Yeah,
but
because 90 million is that's a lot. That's a
they were
huge
assessed a
chunk.
lot though. They were really, I mean, you got to remember something. I mean, in its heyday, I mean, the assessment, the original assessment was north of like 250 million.
Okay, so
The original
250.
assessment was like, I think 260 million was
So
the
that was
original.
back when it was built in 92.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that,
All
well,
right.
that was the pilot. That was the assessed value based on the pilot, I believe,
County real.
So the fact that it lost 2, the town lost 2.
Okay. All right. Well then I'll do a little research on that. And if I get the numbers, I'll just post that in the comments below. Just so people can get sort of like a baseline. So what is 90 million half the value, or is 90 million 10% of the value that is being reduced? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, 90 million is 90. I mean, See, I don't look at it that way because of the fact that when you look at assessed value, you're not looking at like business value. You're not even really looking at property value. You're looking at what they call taxable assessed value. You look at the
Right.
taxable assessed value on your home, I think here in Wallkill, I think the average was like $50,000, right? But homes in the town of Wallkill go for $400,000 plus.
Right.
So again, it's not market value, it's taxable assessed value. And
No,
when you
that
look at
that that is what I'm looking at
and
because
when you look at the
ultimately, yeah,
right. And when you look at taxable assessed value, you look at it in relation to the entire town. So what a better indication, a better number, and I probably should have looked this up beforehand, and I'm sorry I didn't, would have been to look at the entire taxable assessed value for the town of Wallkill and then see out what the $90 million was of that number. Because
okay.
that would be a good percentage. But again, that would be great if the town would provide that information and release that information, just saying, "Hey, this is what happened." Like
What's today? What did I say today was the 21st? Yeah, we'll find out in about 11 days. You know.
other other the funniest part is that every other town that you go to, they vote on this stuff publicly, right? And they make a public announcement about it, right? Town of Wallkill is like the only place, like, yep, we're gonna do it behind closed doors. We're not
It's
gonna tell
all
anybody about anything, like,
shrouded in mystery.
right. And then everybody, and then they say, we're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing anything wrong. Everything is great here. Why the secrets then? Why not just be open about shit and just tell us like it is instead of lying to us in public and then doing shit behind closed doors?
Well, let's hope when our new supervisor and new council person joins Steve and our existing council people comes into office in January, that we start to have more transparency. And I think if Frank and his team can do that, I think that's going to make a positive impression. I think that people will see that there's a better engagement, better communication with the public, and I think that should hopefully make things better between the town and the residents. So in the meantime, this is what hey, folks can expect: a possible bump in their property taxes related to this issue with Pyramid and with the Galleria. We're gonna watch this, and again, we'll look up the figures. I don't suppose maybe we can figure out, maybe you could figure out, since this is more your specialty, what a rough percentage might be an
You know
increase
what?
for
I could
people.
probably actually figure that out all myself. I can.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I can figure all this stuff out
Yeah,
myself.
you can. And if so, I'll post that in the comments so anybody in the town of Wallkill and can get an idea of what they can expect. I mean, I don't think it's good. Might be a lot of, I don't know, but we'll figure that out and we'll get that back to you. All right, guys. So, first of all, just some quick notes before we go. Number one, this Tuesday, December 23rd, is our live stream at 7 p.m. And we're gonna be celebrating the holidays and showing you that regardless of how bad things might seem, we should still be on the positive because good things are coming. Hopefully.
Bring your own fa la la juice.
Yeah, whatever that is. I understand Neil makes a mean coquito, which I think you're drinking that right now. Is that what you're drinking?
Nah, I'm actually
Oh, okay. Yeah, he says he makes a mean coquito. Maybe he'll share his recipe. No, they never want to share the recipe for the coquito. I had a friend, a coworker too, same way, didn't want to share it. But anyway, we'll be talking about that and other things to keep you positive through the holidays. And in the meantime, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you get notified when we go live on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you then, guys. Take care.
Peace out.